This is an integral part of self-development. You absolutely cannot progress in life if you do not know how to be selfish when you need to be. Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. I am so sorry, I know the setup is a bit different and I haven't posted in about 2 weeks. I am currently in Dubai, so I'm in a hotel, but I'm also working on a vlog. But I really wanted to put out a video before I drop this vlog because there's something that's really been weighing heavy on my mind. And I just want to talk to you guys, just something quick. I don't think it's going to be a long video, but I really want to talk about why and how you need to put yourself first. I was doing some self-reflection a couple of days ago, and I was just reflecting back to, I guess, like my shortcomings and some certain situations, and just why you will really never regret putting yourself first. And I just think this is a situation that a lot of people need to hear. I don't believe in coincidences, so if you clicked on this video, you're obviously someone who is interested in self-development or someone on a journey of self-development. So I really hope this video finds you well. And yeah, let's just pretty much get straight into it. It's really important to put yourself first because you really need to understand that you're an investment. When you really start to look at yourself through that lens, there are just so many things that you're not going to tolerate anymore, and you're really going to value yourself. And with valuing yourself means valuing your time. Nobody respects a people pleaser, and I know this firsthand. If anything, they laugh at you. People do not respect people pleasers, so the time you spend trying to cater to everyone's needs and making sure everyone is okay, reclaim that time back and pour it into yourself. It's so interesting that people don't really value what they have easy access to, and I know this firsthand again because of the type of guys I'm attracted to. Nobody likes someone that's just easily accessible. People see value in you when you respect yourself. And with putting yourself first, it's never going to be an easy situation or an easy process, especially when you're someone that's just used to catering to other people's needs. I think as women, we're just naturally socialized to always put other people first. And you know who's really good at always putting themselves first? Men. Men will never hesitate to put themselves first. And I think we can all actually take a page out of a book. That's something that we can all learn to do from time to time. And I just think it's so important that the time you spend trying to cater into everyone's needs, trying to make sure everyone is okay, trying to always be available, use that time and invest back into yourself. Use that time to read books you're interested in, listen to podcasts, watch shows, or even just self-care. You don't even have to be necessarily doing something productive, but I just think it's important that you're pouring into yourself and making sure you're good. It is nobody else's responsibility to make sure you're good apart from you. Yes, if you're fortunate and blessed enough to have people that care about you, like family and friends, embrace that and be very, very grateful for that. But ultimately, it is up to you to make sure you're good, especially mentally. And this is a very, very tough time. I don't think it's fair to rely on the people close to you to always make sure you're in a good state of mind mentally. I think you need to see yourself as your responsibility and really just take time to make sure you're good. If it means isolating yourself for a couple of days, ghosting, not replying to texts, do that. A couple of my friends actually do that. They just don't reply for a couple of days, and to be honest, I don't take offense because as long as they're good, then I'm good. You know, nobody needs to be available to you all the time, and you really have to take away that mindset that just tells you people owe you something. I'm not saying people don't owe you anything, because I do believe people owe you things. You know, your friends owe you respect, your friends owe you loyalty, your friends owe you kindness, and I think you owe everyone in this world kindness. But I mean that in the sense that people don't always have to be available to you. You need to make sure you're showing up for yourself every single day, and that's the most important thing. And I'll tell you this firsthand, when I started to shift my focus, because it took me a really long time to have this mindset, I will say I kind of used to be really entitled. I used to be really entitled, but when I started to really take accountability for myself, I don't even care about who's not doing what, because as long as I'm doing what I need to be doing for myself, I'm good. And when you feel good, you can then continuously pour into other people and be that source of strength for them. The second tip I have is to create healthy boundaries. Now, I'm not someone that naturally has very strong boundaries. I was actually first introduced to the concept of boundaries and respecting other people's boundaries through my sister. She would always say to me, like, you know, you're not respecting my boundaries and all of that. And I used to think like what does that even mean? Because with me, I'm pretty much like very easygoing and just like, yeah, like anything works. But in reality, it's not healthy at all. I think everyone needs to establish strong boundaries. And again, especially as women, I always say women because I just think there's so many things that we're socialized to normalize, when really and truly we need to deconstruct all of that and start to focus on ourselves. And I always speak from a woman's perspective because that is my lived experience. But having strong boundaries is very important. Again, nobody respects someone that they can just walk all over. It is not cute. It will never be cute. And you really just need to take time to reclaim your power. As important as it is to have healthy boundaries, I also think it's equally important to communicate what those boundaries are. And I don't think you need to do this in every situation, because no is a complete sentence. Sometimes no doesn't require any justification. If you feel uncomfortable saying yes to something, or you don't want to necessarily adhere to a favor, it is very much okay to say no. But I think for the people close to you, it's really important for you to communicate what you're not comfortable with, what you're not willing to compromise on, what is not negotiable. Because at the end of the day, we're grown. Nobody is a mind reader. All that passive aggressive trying to read other people's minds, it is so draining. I used to be very passive aggressive. Like my sister, I say my sister because we talk about stuff like this like quite often, but my sister used to call me out of it. When we'll have arguments, I would just go into my own mood. I will think my thoughts and I would not communicate how I was feeling at all. And I never really used to recognize how toxic that was until she flagged it up, and then I realized, oh, actually, even in other arguments, I'll be very passive aggressive. But it is very immature actually, and is very childish, and it doesn't help you or help the other person. So it's really important to communicate your boundaries. People are not mind readers, and sometimes when you communicate in a very healthy manner, people will not take offense to it. I always say, you can't do better if you don't know any better. Please communicate your boundaries. Okay. One thing that I've also learned is you absolutely do not have to overextend yourself to every single person in your life. Not everyone is really worthy of you going backwards, bending backwards, and just doing the most for everyone. I remember I saw a quote on Instagram, and it was like, the quote said something like, I made a mistake of showing love too early with little loyalty before loyalty was offered, or something like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, like that is literally me. And I just think it's really important to choose people who choose you. You don't always have to be at everyone's beck and call. One thing that I used to do that was not putting myself first was that, let's say I was doing something, I don't know, editing a video, right? And my friend would call me and they're just like, oh, Arayo, can you please do something for me really quickly? I will stop what I'm doing and do something for them. And what they need help with is not urgent. That could wait. I would literally stop what I'm doing, editing my video, and investment in myself to cater to someone else's needs. You absolutely do not need to do that. When I'm done editing my video, I can return their call and then do their favor. I just think it's so important that little things like that are flagged, because you never realize how much you are not putting yourself first until you start to communicate with people around you, or you start to see little ways in which you're selling yourself short. That's why self-reflection and introspection is so important. I really recommend journaling as well, and that goes to my second tip, is you really need to understand your needs. When you understand who you are as a person and understand what you need from relationships, or what you need from yourself, or what you need to make yourself feel whole, you it becomes much easier to put yourself first, because you know, okay, I know I need, if you're an introvert for example, I know I need a solid amount of time by myself. That is not negotiable. If it means during this time block of, let's say, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. I want to be alone, you don't have to answer any calls, and you don't really have to explain yourself either. A lot of things really can wait, and that's something that I started to remind myself, like, listen, if I don't do this right now, nothing is going to happen. If I don't answer this call right now, nothing is going to happen. And I just think when you start to value your time and you start to really see yourself as an investment, these things become easier. It is not something that's done overnight, but little daily practices make all the difference. Again, I know if you're interested in self-development, this is an integral part of self-development. You absolutely cannot progress in life if you do not know how to be selfish when you need to be. Like, no. If it means sacrificing certain relationships or certain events, you need to do that. But at the end of the day, I always say this, we're playing, and I say we're because, you know, we're like-minded, we're always playing the long-term game here. At the end of the day, we know our goal and we know what we need to give to get to our goal. So just really try and remind yourself of that every single day. It's not easy. I'll be lying if I say sometimes I don't feel guilty, but then actually I think about it and I think I'm not really gaining anything if I continuously compromise myself for other people's pleasure. Like, how does that benefit me? And sometimes it sounds really, really bad, but you have to sit down and reflect, like, okay, how does this benefit me as a person? If it doesn't benefit you, then you probably need to be thinking twice about it. But yes, that's pretty much everything I have to say. I love you guys so much. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for loving me. I hope this video really added some value or reaffirmed things that you probably already knew. Yeah, this was just really supposed to be short and sweet. Love you, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.